So Theresa May has called a general election, a snap general election, which means that there is going to be an election in between the normal 5-year term. So we have an election in about 6 weeks on the 8th of June. Generally, I think the understanding of why she's called this election is because the Conservatives don't have a massive majority in Parliament, and the Conservatives are seemingly in a much stronger place than Labour. Labour looks like a bit of a mess right now. And so Theresa May's called this election because she thinks she can win it and win a bigger majority, and then that will help her in the next 5 years to basically see through all of the Brexit negotiations. I think what the polls are showing is that the Conservatives are going to win, which for me personally and my personal politics is sad. If you're going to be old enough to vote on the 8th of June, 18 or over, then please register to vote. You can actually register to vote if you are 16, but you won't be able to vote. But if you are 16 and over, always a good idea just to register to make sure that you are on the register. I'm pretty sure that I registered to vote when I moved in like a year ago, but to be sure, I'm going to register again. And I would highly encourage you to do it too. Even if you think you've already registered, it's always just a good idea just to do it. It doesn't matter if you register twice, it's just still counts like normal. You don't get extra votes, that's not how it works. It only takes about 5 minutes, super easy. And the deadline, if you want to vote in the general election, is the 22nd of May. And if you are away on the 8th of June, then you can postal vote or proxy vote. I'm not sure when the deadlines for those are, but they're usually a bit earlier and they might vary depending on your constituency. So definitely research that and look it up to make sure that your vote counts. So I'm going to register to vote now, just to show you how quick and easy it is, whilst other Hannah explains some stuff about politics and how you can become more informed about stuff. Registering to vote. I'm gonna set a timer on my phone actually to see how long this takes. It's really no bother at all. Stopwatch and start. There are also local elections on the 4th of May, which, as a good citizen, I did not know about until now. The deadline to register for those is already passed. But if you are already registered, then you can go out and vote in your local and mayor elections on the 4th of May. And I think there might be some by-elections that day as well. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so the 4th of May, there's some elections. 8th of June, there's the big one. Please don't let voter fatigue get you down. I know it's real, and I know that we have had so many elections in this country. There was the Scottish referendum in 2014, general election 2015, EU referendum 2016, and now another general election 2017. That is an election, a massive election, every year for the last 4 years. That is mad. That is madness. From my very quick research and limited understanding of the political process, here's what's going down. Parliament is going to be dissolved on the 3rd of May, which means there'll be no more MPs in Parliament, and that's when the huge campaigning will start once all of the MPs are kind of freed up and they'll be campaigning and canvassing in their constituencies. I think about a week after that is when the parties will kind of announce their manifestos, their policies and all of this. I've no idea how much they'll change from 2015. We will see. There are loads of websites out there that will kind of help to break down those policies and manifestos once they are announced. You can follow me on Twitter at Hannah Witton because I will probably be all over that and tweeting a lot. All right, stop. Done. That took me 2 minutes and 24 seconds to register to vote. So now you have no excuses. But for now, if you kind of want to clue yourself in, then there is a great website called They Work For You. And if you go there, you can put in your postcode and it will come up with who your current MP is. So if your current MP is going to be running again in this general election, then it's good to have a look at who they are and what their voting patterns have been in the past. And it'll give you a general idea of how they vote, if they vote with their party. There's also like a rundown of loads of different policies and like different issues. And so if you're really interested in how they voted on education, you can look on that, and the environment, foreign policy, all of that kind of stuff. You can break it down that way. Another great website is votingcounts.org.uk, where there's loads of information on voting and why it's important if you need a bit of convincing. They also kind of have a summary breakdown of what each of the main parties represent and what they stand for and their kind of main ideologies. That could help you get a bit more of an understanding of what the parties stand for before they release their official policies and manifestos. I personally don't know who I'm going to be voting for yet. I live in a safe Labour seat, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my vote. I'm definitely going to vote, just don't know how yet. I really liked how during the US election, loads of YouTubers were coming out and being like, this is how I'm voting, you know, campaigning hard and making a lot of videos about politics. I feel like in the UK YouTube community, we kind of failed at doing that during the EU referendum, and our audiences are the, you know, mostly 18 to 24-year-olds who are statistically least likely to vote, least likely to turn out, and also more likely to have more liberal politics and more liberal ideals about the world, but less likely to vote. Whereas the 65 plus are like very much likely to turn out and vote, and generally more conservative. So just bear that in mind. And please vote. Like, I know my audience, you are 18 to 24-year-olds. So like, please use this vote. I know, like, I feel the same way as a lot of you in that I don't feel represented at all. I don't agree with the Tories on most things, and I can't imagine myself ever voting for the Conservatives. Labour, I feel like in general probably more represent my ideals out of like the main parties, but they're a hot mess. And I just want like Labour to have like an Obama or like Justin Trudeau leader that we can all like get behind and who everybody likes. The Lib Dems I voted for in 2010, never again. I feel like this is a common theme amongst my friends like similar age. It's just like, yes, I voted for the Lib Dems in the 2010 election. Will not be making that mistake again. You're not just electing a party and a party leader, you're electing your MP. And so like, that person is representing your constituency, and how much do they reflect the needs of where you live. They're the person that's going to represent you. If you ever have any woes or troubles, then they're the person that you get in touch with to be like, hey, this is a thing. How are you voting? Because you elect them. They work for you. Check out that website. They work for you. They really do. Feeling a bit downhearted in general about the whole thing, but I think it's important to still believe that we can do something and believe that we can make a difference. And even if it's just getting people to register to vote, even if it's just getting young people to turn out to vote, that is important in itself, because if we don't vote, we won't be listened to and we won't be taken seriously as like a group of people who politicians have to listen to and have to like make policies that will benefit us and are, you know, related to the things that we care about. That's important. To me, it feels like this election is going to be mainly fought on Brexit, because that is just what everyone is talking about, and it's probably the biggest thing to happen to our democracy maybe since we joined the European Union. Who knows? I wasn't alive then. It is important to remember that there are other issues as well as Brexit. Yes, whatever government gets elected on the 8th of June will have to see through all of the Brexit negotiations. So it is important to elect the party that you will feel best represent you in those negotiations to get like the best deal for the UK out of it. But there are other issues too. So what else do you care about? Education, housing, welfare, benefits, the NHS. Like, all of these things are still super important and will be on the manifestos. They'll be on the agenda. We're not just electing a government to deal with Brexit. We're electing a government to run our whole country. So don't forget that when you're voting on the 8th of June. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please, please, please register to vote. Vote on the 4th of May in the local elections. Vote on the 8th of June in the general election. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you know of any good resources about politics, news, good ways to help people figure out who to vote for if they're unsure, then please leave them in the comments. It'd be really good to hear your thoughts and ideas about this whole thing. And don't forget to subscribe because I make new videos every week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.